Hello everyone, my name is Joshua. This is the 77th video of my video journal series. Today's date is Sunday, 26th of April 2026. How's everyone been? I've been very good, thank you. And I guess something that happened to me today was that I had a few family members come over. My auntie, my uncle. They came over and we had like a formal luncheon. That's how I'm going to describe it. But just like a small get together. But something I really like about family gatherings is when there's like a lot of food. My mom was prepping a lot of food, and I was saving up my appetite, throughout the entire day because it wasn't until the afternoon when they came over. So for the first half of the day, I was quite like starving. I didn't have any breakfast or anything, just waiting for the food. But when they arrived, we started to dig in, and I was like, oh my lord, you had like all these pastries and food on the table, and by the end of it, I was stuffed, chicken, chips, rice, pickles, you know, uh, fish, salad, potatoes, carrots. Oh, it's just lovely. It's all the food that I enjoy in life, especially potatoes. I'm very much a potato person. I love French fries, as the Americans like to call it, but here in Australia we call them chips. Potato salad, um, you know, baked potatoes. I just love anything with potato in it. But yeah, I really like not just I guess the food, but the atmosphere. When you get to talk to family members who you haven't talked to in I guess like in a while. I haven't spoken to my uncle before then since last year most probably. It was a very long time. Um, but it's good to keep up with your family members, and it's nice when you have like I guess dessert at the end, and you're just like talking about um, how's the last couple of months been, or wherever you met him last. And yeah, I guess like I guess family get-togethers or family luncheons, because I really like the term luncheon. I won't refer to lunch as lunch anymore. I'll refer to it as luncheon, and not because of steamed hams, or well, maybe because of steamed hams, but I guess it's a very nice word, luncheon. Like why don't you come for me with some um pomegranates for the upcoming luncheon? It just rolls off the tip of the tongue. But anyway, enough of steamed hams, and we did not have steamed hams today. I guess it would be like if you just get like a meat patty and you like steam it, because I don't know how on earth you ever make steamed hams, like in the Simpsons sketch with Seymour and um, Superintendent Chalmers. I don't know why it took me so long. I know the entire script off by heart. In fact, I might just do a video entry where I just recite the entire script. Because obviously, like now, I just want to talk about, I guess, like what happened today. I don't want to talk about, steamed hams. But I do remember the entire steamed ham script off by heart. And I've often recited it in front of all my friends. And they're very much impressed how I can recite a Simpsons meme. But anyway, so I quite like family get-togethers and big events like Easter or you know Christmas. And I'm pretty sure this like get-together was because we couldn't like meet up at Easter time because everyone was like busy doing their own thing. So I guess this is like a late Easter sort of thing. Um, but I don't really mind it. And yeah, I guess. Oh, there was also corn on the cob. I love corn. Um, it might sound a little bit weird out of context, but um, I like my veggies. Like, well, corn is a vegetable. It's not the first thing that comes into your mind when you think of vegetable. You don't automatically think of corn. You think of like carrots, lettuce. You don't really think of corn as a vegetable. I mean, it is a vegetable, but it's not the first thing that pops into your mind. which is weird though. It's just a little bit weird for. But anyway, I love corn, especially like salt and buttered corn. Um, and I don't know why. It's just maybe the texture, maybe the fact that I like the way that you eat it. You just like get the mini corn on the cob and you just like slowly, I guess, rotate it. So as you're eating it, you're just eating all the kernels, and you go back and pluck all the other kernels out. I just love corn. It's got that really nice, I guess, texture, especially when you like bake it in the oven. Um, it's just very. It's one of my favorites. Just very simple, I guess, if you can call it dish. But I like that sort of simplicity. Same with like I don't know, um, baked potatoes. If you put like potatoes in the oven with some carrots, with some pumpkin, maybe with some corn, um, and you put like some oil on it, it's just really nice. Simple but nice. And I really like, I guess, when you got like those, I guess, cozy meals, you know, um, and you're just like huddled around the table and you're speaking to the person next to you or the family member next to you, or maybe when you have like a big table around Christmas time where you share the Christmas turkey, um, recount stories, um, play mini, I don't know, party games or one of those like poppers. What do they call them? Like those Christmas things where you like pull on one end of like this like popper and it spits out a prize. I forgot what they're called, like Christmas crackers. Is that what they call them? Christmas crackers or Christmas poppers or whatever. Where like two people, yeah, like they basically like tug on either end, and then it pops in the middle, and there's like a mini prize. I forgot what they're called now. I'm so uncultured. I'm starting to forget things. But even then, I just like the experience, and always when you're like in like I guess, you know, in one of these situations, right? In one of these events, you always notice that there's like one food item that just vanishes almost immediately. Everyone gets a slice out of it, and within like seconds, it's gone. For me and my family, it's always chips. I don't know why. Whenever we're having like a large, I guess, like family gathering at, I guess, my house, well, really, it can just be anyone's house. But I know whenever we invite people over to my house, we like to get like chips, um, from like yeah, just like regular potato chips or French fries, and they're always the first ones to go. Out of everything on the table, it's always the potato chips that go because one, um, we only have maybe like a small platter of um, fries, and they're really popular. I mean, who doesn't love fries? Who doesn't love chips? So they're always the first one to go, and you know, I guess the kids are always prioritized. When it comes to chips, or I guess some of the more simpler dishes. Because kids are sometimes like picky eaters, so they're always the first ones to, I guess, get served. At least from my experience, maybe for your family or the situations you've been in, maybe it's the adults who get the food first, but I always feel like it's the kids who get the food first. I don't know, at least within my experience. But when I was a kid, I never got the food first, I'll tell you that. But anyway, yeah, the chips are always the first one to go. And then it's always going to be like the rice, no one touches the rice. Or the rice is so plentiful that like it seems that no one's really touched it, even though some people might put like small little scoops. And then it's like the chicken. I feel like the chicken can run out like pretty fast if you don't have enough chicken. And then what's like another menu item that, or so what's another thing on the table that goes by incredibly fast? Soft drinks, not necessarily food, but rather a liquid. But that goes, I guess, runs out incredibly fast, because everyone wants like a glass of Coke or Pepsi or something like that. And then yeah, like apart from that, what else? I guess like the roasted vegetables, like I said, the the oven baked potatoes and carrots and all that, they go by pretty fast as well. But it's always the chips, and that always like disappear. Always the first one to disappear, and which is annoying because I like eating chips, even though I can just like go to a fast food restaurant or local restaurant and buy some of my own chips. I really just want um, chips that's already there, and I think just the artificial, no, I shouldn't say artificial, the scarcity of chips when it comes to, I guess, a family gathering or family luncheon or family dinner, um, you know, just triggers something in your brain like, all right, I must like grab as much food as I can, even though I can't like finish it all, sort of thing. And you ever get like that experience when you're like at a family, I guess, like get together where there's food and you just put way too much on your plate and you can't like finish it, but you still put more stuff on there because you're like, all right, I already put like a chicken drumstick, for instance, right? But you're not gonna finish that chicken drumstick, but yet you put like rice and other food on there to, I guess, like procrastinate on the other food that you grabbed earlier, but you still haven't finished it off yet. I don't know why. Maybe it's just that human instinct of survival of the fittest, like me must gather food now, sort of thing. Because I swear, like whenever it's like dinner time or whenever it's like a lot of um, food on the table, I just grab way too much and I can't like finish it all. Um, and I don't know why, but it's always the chicken, I swear. It's always the chicken that like fills me up, and which is a good thing. But at the same time, um, it fills me up, but you know, it fills me up to the extent that I can't like eat the other things that are on my plate, which is kind of annoying. Um, and yeah, I guess that's pretty much nearly all I've had to say. But I reckon that whenever I guess you have your next family get together and when there's like food involved, to really I guess like spend that time, or really whenever you're just like I guess able to hang out with family, just spend some time, talking to the people around you. I used to go to my room once I guess the food was done. Whenever family used to come over, I just ate and then went to my room. But now I've realized, well, that's the I guess antisocial thing to do. I'd rather just speak to my uncles, my aunties, my family members who I haven't seen in months because they come all the way to see me, which I think um, warrants me to I guess at least spark conversation with them. But especially if you have family members coming from far away, you definitely don't want to, I guess, you know, ignore them. You just gotta like, speak to them. And before I continue, I just gotta make sure this video is recording. So that's always been on my mind. Yes, it is. Alrighty then. So I just wanted to check if it was recording because I always get that fear that what if I accidentally didn't press the record button, but I am recording, which is why you're seeing this video. But anyway, yeah, I guess I just like, being able to see family and being able to chat. Nowadays I don't really have a lot of free time, but whenever I do have free time, I like just spending it with family, um, and I just like, I guess, being the company of family with friends and others. Um, and I know, there's not going to be, I guess, many events coming up, at least within the next couple of months or so, where I'll be able to meet family. But, usually around the end of the year, Christmas time is when we have another one of these, I guess, family get togethers, because obviously Christmas, you know, Christmas feast. So yeah, I can't wait to I guess around Christmas time where we get to have another luncheon, Christmas luncheon. But yeah, I guess there really aren't I guess scarce throughout the year, so it just makes a family get together even more special, you know. And yeah, I guess because another thing about family get-togethers is obviously everyone has like I guess different schedules and all that. So when you're finally able to meet up with all your friends or family, it really just feels special, you know? Because it's a very rare thing that everyone could be off on the exact same day, except if it's something like a public holiday. But even then, people work public holidays, depending which industries they are. And sometimes people or family members can't make it because they've got other commitments, which is, I guess, fine. But, um, you know, for everyone else that's there, it's, I guess, really a miracle. Um, and I guess, you know, I mean, technically, tomorrow is a public holiday here in New South Wales. And, even considering that tomorrow's a public holiday, I saw a lot of people out today, Um, you know, especially where I live, all the car parks and all that were just like full. There was a lot of cars on the road. And, I thought to myself, you know, aren't we like in a fuel crisis or anything? I made a video about the fuel crisis already, but ever since the fuel crisis, I've been seeing more cars on the road. And I feel like I just have to mention this on the side because it's something that popped into my head today. Um, yeah, there's a lot more, I guess, cars on the road, even though petrol's supposed to be more expensive and scarce. And I thought, as a pedestrian, right, who often has to wait for cars, you know, at like intersections or when you're trying to cross a road or roundabout, where you got to wait for cars and you got to like deal with the noise of cars. That there'll be like less cars on the road, kind of like COVID, or maybe not like fully like COVID, but maybe like a noticeable difference. But no, ever since fuel crisis, there's been a lot more cars on the road. Maybe where I live, um, but yeah, it's just, I mean, obviously, I wish the price of petrol would come down, even though I'm not a driver, but I still, I guess, buy groceries, buy stuff that requires petrol within the transportation process because trucks ain't gonna, I guess, run themselves. Um, yeah, I guess, I, I guess, where am I gonna go with this? I actually don't know, but I guess, you know, that's just how the global economy supply chain works. So yeah, hopefully the price of petrol can come down. I know everyone's been saying that, and especially now, I guess like the price of flights has also gone up. I've heard stories where um, the price of like some flights has like gone up by thousands of dollars. And as someone who's planning on traveling um, mid-year, I gotta say I had to delay those plans. Um, and I'm planning on traveling preferably around November or December this year. So yeah, that's most probably looking like the current schedule. But maybe I can do like a short domestic trip in around a few months' time. Um, because at least with that, I'll be within Australia. I don't want to travel overseas and then suddenly get, I guess, stranded or having to deal with, I guess, fuel shortages or whatever. But yeah, I was thinking maybe doing a little domestic trip, but I haven't really, I guess, made any plans for it. But I definitely want to do um, maybe like an international trip end of year. And I've historically done international trips at the end of the year. Japan, New Zealand, those were end of year sort of things. So hopefully, yeah, and hopefully I'll be able to, I guess, get a job as well. Um, but yeah, I guess to really cap off this video, maybe I should leave it like a wise quote sort of thing. And that is, well, I'm not sure if anyone's really said this quote, but I guess it's, I guess, broad enough that it will resonate with um, a lot of people, and that is to always spend time with your family, which sounds, I guess, pretty straightforward, but I feel like in life we often have, I guess, skewed perceptions of time. Time can go either very slow or very fast. For me, it's going very fast right now. Um, these last couple of weeks have been just like flying over my head. And I'm like, damn, yeah, that was like a month ago, you know? Only just felt like yesterday. So I guess I'm in that period of life where things are starting to speed up. But, you know, I guess whenever you have the free time to, aim it, spend it with friends or family. You know, even if your, I guess, family or friend group is small, that's even better. You know, you focus more on quality, um, spending time with each individual person. If you have a large friend group, then that's good, you know, because you can, I guess, um, there's a much wider pool of people who you can, I guess, hang out with, but, you know, scheduling and all that comes into play. So it might not be the case where everyone is available on the exact same day, but, you know, just spend time with the people who you love and don't underestimate time because you know, especially when you're hanging around with, I guess, the older generation, it might sound a little bit grim, but they might not be around forever, and they're not going to be around forever. But you know, I argue to spend a lot more time with the older generation, your grandparents, if you can. Hear their stories, get to know them. Obviously, you know them because you're your grandparents, but know more of them and really spend time with, I guess, your family and friends. And, you know, whenever you're doing an activity, even if it's something simple as eating, always try to incorporate or try and to incorporate, you know, some friends and family if you can. Doesn't hurt having, I guess, a friend around with you. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's very good to have a friend around with you. Um, and you know, I guess if you're one of these, I guess if you're, hmm, I guess you know, I might not know your current situation. I might not know who your social group is, but you know, anyone that you know, just spend time with them. You know, even if it's just your mom or dad, spend as much time as with them as you can. Um, Even if it's just a pet, for instance, you know, pet dog, pet cat, spend time, you know, spend time with those who you love and celebrate with those who you love because, like I said, the concept of time, which I know this sounds like pretty deep for like an end of video sort of thing, but yeah, time can be heavily skewed. We don't realize that we don't have enough time until it's too late. But I reckon spend as much time as you can with your family. Um, and yeah, that's what I really have to say. Sorry for sounding a little bit grim towards the end, but it really got me thinking about this whole concept of time because, um, yeah, because I think to myself, wow, it's really been that long since I last met like my uncles and my aunties and all that, and I've seen how much things have happened in their life, how much their kids have grown. I'm thinking, wow, time really flies by. But I guess that's another point of the series to, I guess, document time and to make it somewhat manageable for me, even though I don't really have control over time. It's just me as a passive observer of time. But anyway, thanks for, I guess, this philosophical dive. But yeah, female family and friends, family and friends forever. I guess that's the main message of this video. But anyway, I guess I'll catch you all later and see you next time. Bye. See ya. Take care.